Hey everyone, my name is Zhi Xuan or Zhi Xuan, and I'm a PhD student at MIT. Today I'm excited to be sharing some work with McCoy, Becker, and Vikashman Sinha on Genify, transforming Julia into Gen to enable programmable inference. There exists a wide variety of stochastic simulators written in Julia for the purposes of modeling natural or social phenomena. These simulators are really useful for studying the behavior of probabilistic phenomena. In addition, they're often highly performant due to Julia's language design. Many times, though, you might want to do more things than just forward simulation. Let's say we have this simple discrete time SIR simulator of viral spread. What kinds of queries might we want to ask of it? One query just corresponds to forward simulation, and if we do that, we might get this graph of viral prevalence over time. It's a simplified model, so quite unlike our situation, everyone recovers and no one dies. As someone studying viral spread, however, we might be interested in other questions too. For example, we might be interested in asking what chain of events led to a particular outcome. In modeling terms, what random choices are made by my simulator as it produces a certain outcome. So in this particular model, that would look like the number of newly infected and recovered people at each time step. We might then be interested in asking, well, how likely were those random choices? How likely under my model was this particular history of the world? For the choices I just showed, you get a log probability of about -21.5. And perhaps most compellingly, we might want to ask, what are the likely values of the unobserved variables, given some observed choices? For example, what's the likely transmission rate if we observe a certain number of new infections each day? Typically, in order to perform these kinds of queries, you would have to rewrite your model using a probabilistic programming library in Julia. But what if you didn't have to? What if you could perform these queries in the original code itself? Well, Genify does exactly that. With just one extra line of code, Genify transforms a method defined in plain Julia into a generative function controllable by the Gen probabilistic programming system, equivalent to the code shown on the right here. Having done that, we can ask all the queries I listed earlier. In addition, we can go beyond default inference algorithms, building custom algorithms from lower-level inference primitives, such as sampling while constraining certain variables, or selectively updating specific random choices. These query primitives and some others collectively specify a generative function interface, supported by all functions in Gen. And so what Genify does is that it augments existing Julia functions with this interface, unlocking customizable Bayesian inference over stochastic simulators already written in Julia. So how does Genify do this? Let's consider the simple Julia method, which flips two potentially biased coins and returns their sum. In Julia, every method is lowered to an intermediate representation, or IR, which is accessible after compilation. For two coins, the IR looks like this. Genify operates on this IR, rewriting calls to random primitives with Genify calls. Non-primitive calls, which aren't shown here, are recursively transformed. These Genify calls then dispatch the random primitives in Gen, based on the types of the primitives and their arguments. These arguments might be distribution objects, shown in blue. We can also extract names for each random variable from the original code, shown in green. All of this happens during just-in-time compilation, during the first time that a transformed function is run. Genify sets things up so in the first run, Julia looks at the IR of the original method, transforms it, and then recompiles the transformed IR to machine code. This functionality is provided by an existing Julia library, IR tools. The resulting function works as if you'd written it in Gen's modeling language from the start. In addition, though, any changes in the original function propagate to the transformed function. If you edit and recompile the original function in the process of development, the transformed code is recompiled as well. Because we have access to the IR, Genify can also perform more sophisticated analyses and transforms, such as loop detection and loop count insertion. This allows us to ensure that the variables sampled within loops have unique names. For example, by analyzing the IR of this function with a for loop, we can extract the control flow graph and detect natural loops. Here, block 2 is a basic block that branches to itself, and hence a loop. We can then increment loop counts in the header of each loop, and use that to generate unique variable names. In the future, loop detection may also enable transforms to support incremental computation. Having shown how Genify works, let's look at what capabilities it unlocks. Returning to our original model of viral spread, we know that it can already tell us how a virus is likely to spread given some inputs and parameters. But what about a slightly more complex question like, Given that 30 people were infected on day 10, how is the rest of the epidemic likely to evolve? Once we genify the model, we can easily answer this question with importance sampling, making sure to specify that the newly infected variable for day 10 is constrained to the right value. This returns a set of execution traces consistent with the constrained value, along with their importance weights. We can then plot these traces to visualize how the epidemic evolves. If you compare this against a similar importance sample where 100 people are infected on day 10, we can see that in the second case, the number of infected individuals peaks considerably earlier. This comparison can help shed light on, for example, the impact of superspreader events. Without Genify, this sort of rare event simulation would not be possible, because we would not be able to constrain random choices internal to the simulator, nor obtain likelihood weights. So far though, we've only used a generic inference algorithm, importance sampling. For more complex models, programmable inference allows us to build more efficient or customized methods. For example, let's say we want to do Bayesian parameter estimation over an agents.jl model of viral spread. In this model, agents are spread among multiple cities. At each time step, they may migrate between cities, and also spread the virus in their current cities. We can call Genify in the top-level function of the simulator, and it will automatically genify all nested functions as well. We can then wrap this genified function within regular gen functions, which add parameter uncertainty and observation noise. Finally, we can rapidly prototype inference algorithms customized to this particular model, such as Metropolis Hastings with custom blocking, or SMC with a data-driven proposal. Each of these takes only about 20 lines of code using Gen's inference primitives. Comparing both of these custom methods against generic algorithms, we find that they lead to increased accuracy, albeit at slightly higher computational costs. That's really the power and flexibility of programmable inference. Rather than trying to provide the best generic inference algorithm, Gen provides the tools for inference engineers to quickly prototype, iterate upon, and evaluate algorithms. Genify brings this capability to most of Julia. Of course, there's always room for improvement. One issue is that it may be difficult to understand existing simulators well enough to design custom inference algorithms. To address this, we could develop user-friendly tools to explore transformed simulator code. Another issue is that Genify models do not currently support incremental computation. Future work could enable this, perhaps by extracting loops and compiling them into specialized Gen constructs. This would speed up iterative algorithms like MCMC, and enable efficient Bayesian inference over existing Julia simulators. With that, I'd like to thank some of my colleagues and mentors for their contributions and guidance, and thank you all for your attention. I look forward to hearing your questions.